Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Canadian. Yes, welcome back to the world of Vampire The Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I know it's been such a long while since I last talked about the game, but that's mainly because there hasn't really been any new information to cover outside of some devlog stuff until today, or well, 2 weeks ago, when we started getting announcements for factions that we'll be seeing in game. So if you go over to bloodlines2.com, you'll see that only 2 factions have been revealed so far, but there's still 3 more blank slots to fill, so I'll do a video on those missing factions once they're announced. Anyway, the first 2 factions that have been revealed so far are the Pioneers and the Camarilla. First, let's take a wee peek at the Pioneers, since they were the first ones to be announced, and also being a brand new, fresh faction only seen in Bloodlines 2. "We made this city and we will never let anyone forget that." This is a quote found in the Bloodlines 2 website by a character called Lou Grand, who is the leader of the Pioneers. This new faction are unique to Seattle and are actually amongst the first vampires to sell in the city. Lou Grant has been the longest reigning Prince of Seattle, but over the last few years, they have seen control slowly slipping away as more outsiders enter the city and start marking their territories. The Pioneers' wealth was once vast, and that definitely gained them some influence, but that money is now getting them nowhere really, with the faction going from top dogs to only having proper control over some smaller parts of the city. The faction is made up of individuals from different clans with occupations such as loggers, fishermen, bootleggers, musicians, and artists. The Pioneers is such an interesting faction to me because it seems as though their story is just trying everything they can to stay relevant in modern day, but they are very much set in their old ways and won't change with the times like other factions. Their attitude towards newcomers as well will make a playthrough of them be entertaining, as well as they're probably going to be annoyed at the player's progress constantly, because you know they're constantly looking down at new people. This faction is actually one of the options in the quest called Undertaking that was shown off in the E3 demo. Apparently you could take a job from them in their coffee shop, which I think this sort of highlights their importance in the world, with other factions like the Tremere owning a club and then the Camarilla owning a big fancy hotel. Moving on to the Camarilla, yes, this faction has returned from Bloodlines 1, and if you have played the first game, then you'll definitely have an opinion on these guys. Contrary to what you might think, I enjoy having enemies. It makes me careful, keeps me creative. There's not much of a future for complacent rulers. This quote comes from the new Camarilla leader Alec Cross, who seems to enjoy conflict under his rule. Ingrained in the corporate side of Seattle, the Camarilla led by Prince Cross control the city through their connections to tech billionaires and investment bankers. This faction has been playing the Game of Thrones and has ended up at the top of the food chain thanks to their Ventrue savviness. Cross's Camarilla has been at the top for 20 years despite being the city's biggest target. The way they have gone away from an uprising was by giving the other factions just enough power to stop them from mobilising against Cross. Wealth, power and loyalty is what defines this faction, with the Camarilla's kindred being mostly CEOs, bankers, politicians, software mongols and venture capitalists. There is such like a massive clear comparison to be made between the Camarilla and the Pioneers, one side being reluctant to keep up with the times and adapt to modern society, and the other taking advantage of that opportunity and seed themselves into relevancy. So yeah, the Camarilla, they're up for it, man. They're set in modern times, they're using technology to their advantage, that's what they use to, maintain control, with the Pioneers, they're just old timers, just screaming at the new kids, or like, get off my lawn type of faction here. Like I said at the start of the video, there are 3 more factions that need to be revealed, but we do already have a clue as to what 2 of them are. Going back to the E3 demo, we do know that the 2 factions are the Tremere, and the other one being Baron, which I'm guessing is the Anarchs. No idea what the last faction could be, but I guess we will find out when they are eventually revealed later on this year, or maybe early next year, I don't know. They keep saying it's like, hey, by the way, we're going to be doing this over the coming months instead of every week, like the clans. So that was the first Bloodlines 2 factions video. Hope you guys enjoyed my return to Bloodlines 2. Yes, I did make this quick. Yes, I did make this snappy. It wasn't really planned to be a long video, mainly because these factions don't really have too much information on them, not like the clans where I could like dive into all this massive history. Yeah, I could have probably dived more into the Camarilla history in Bloodlines 1, but I might do that later on in another video, but I might return to these factions when more information is released, when the eventual blog updates, when the eventual videos and all that happens, leading up to the launch of Bloodlines 2. Special thanks to my brilliant patrons, KG, Proxy1, Devil and TG Monster for your continued support over my Patreon. I do really appreciate you guys, thank you so much. But yeah, that was Bloodlines 2, I hope you guys enjoyed. I am, again, really excited for this game. I just want to talk about it more, but there's just not enough information for me to keep making videos. I'm not one of those YouTubers that just keeps making videos in the one game despite there being absolutely no fucking information. Yes, that's right, I'm talking to you Starfield YouTubers. Stop it. Stop making videos in a game that has no information. But yeah, I don't really do speculation or anything like that. I do like do a wee bit of speculation in amongst actual news and actual information about the game that's been released, like official information. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed, and I shall be seeing you all later on. Whenever the next faction is revealed, I will be covering them, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I shall see you all next week. Bye bye.